Look at you, beautiful people. Look at you all as you filed into here to hear me talk. It is I, the voice of reason, justice.
Are you sure you're justice and reason?
Okay, the voice of petty and and cruelty, but with a heart. Cruelty with a heart. That's my that's my slogan.
uh,
When I run for president, cruelty for heart.
okay.
You don't think that's a good idea? I think it's a great platform to run
I'm
on.
sure you'll capture everyone's heart.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm a nice guy. I'm just a dick while doing it. Imagine what I could do to this country. It'd be great. First thing I'm doing, well, never mind. I'll keep my opinions to myself for now until I run. But when I win
Okay.
and I become president of these United States, Lola, when I become president of these United States of America, then you'll see some changes, see some action around here. Yeah, yeah. First thing, I want a comic book store in every neighborhood. Damn it. It's required reading like a library. And there'll be tests. I'll send people around to the stores, make sure they're selling the good shit. Make sure they ain't skimming on the comics, yo. And then, and then, uh, I don't want an adult novelty shop. I don't want one 2 miles from schools. I don't want to have to explain to my child, and I've had to have this conversation, why mommy's got 15-inch heels in the trunk of the car when I pick them up from school or soccer practice. You should see my mommy's work boots. My mommy has work boots. They're covered in grime and dust. Not my mommy's. They're white and they're tall and they flash at the bottom. It's horrible. Horrible. Anyway, everybody, welcome to Breakfast Buzz. Indie Vote Breakfast Buzz in the chat already. Now, comments. Word up, from the BC. Word up. Pops Van Zant saying, hey, good morning, Pops. Good morning to you. I'm still out. Anybody who, if you know, last couple of weeks I've been having some medical problems, and I think I might be seeing my way through some of them now. Yesterday morning was decent, beyond decent. It was actually pretty good, and then about I want to say about 3 o'clock I slowed down, and I probably didn't do what I should have did, and it all hit me like a weight of bricks again. So it's one of the things about getting older. I guess you get sick. Me for president. Greeting center says Marv. That's right. Me for president.
No.
Uh, Petco Kokotov says, "Want to become famous? You can buy followers and viewers." You know, well, here's the thing. Petco. Those tend not to last. I know a guy who did that, and he watched his sub and follower count drop in halves, like every 3 to 4 hours, because a lot of those places aren't real. They'll provide you with dummy accounts just to boost your following for a little while. You know, everybody who would consider that, just do the work. Do the work. Try to create good content as much as you can, and you will find followers and subscribers. Interactivity, that's the key. That's what you got to get. Interaction. Lola, I got questions from Indie Vote Radio that I can read. I've got some other stuff to talk about.
And we
Let's hit
got
that
some
intro.
people coming in too soon.
Yeah.
Alright, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, guys.
You can take the coffee down now. We can be
No,
seen.
I didn't take it down. I don't run the board for Breakfast Buzz. I don't know what I'm doing.
Our pretty faces, there they are. Well, no one can see my face because it's your logo. My advertising
It is.
Nanny Princess today.
Hello.
Hey, Rich.
Hello.
Joined by Rich Perota.
Perota. Everybody gets my name that way. Everyone says Perota, but that's all right. Hello, Mr. Marion. Hello, Miss Indie Princess Lola.
Good morning.
How you guys doing?
we're doing.
You know, it's funny. One of us has COVID. One of us looks like it.
Oh shit! Who has it?
And she's the one that has COVID.
16
Oh my God.
days so far.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Uh,
You okay?
no. I feel like death.
But she doesn't look like it. Like, look at her this morning. She's positively glowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she looks like it's like all of her skin is all the same tone and stuff, and it's not like all red and blotchy in her nose and stuff.
Yeah. Are you wearing makeup this morning? Well,
Only on my eyes.
oh yeah. So yeah, see. Now
I didn't have time to put on any actual
Get
face
all pretty
makeup.
and stuff. She's already pretty, with all respect to Mr. Varian, of course.
well, you look at me though, who doesn't have COVID, and I'm laid up, stretched out. The other day I looked out of here on a stretcher, all strapped in.
No,
Yeah, you know what? I got to tell this story. It's kind of funny.
I want
So
to hear.
Lola says, you know, you're getting worse. You this is what is this, Tuesday night after Livewire. He says you're getting worse. You need to go to the hospital. So she pretty much, I had brought it up, but she pretty much forced it. Once I brought it up, she's like, I'm gonna take it to the hole, and
God.
she sent me to the hospital, and I was when they came to get me, the paramedics to help me out the bed, and I caught a glimpse of myself as they're helping me to the bed. I mean, to the stretcher outside our home, and they look at me because there's stairs. There's 3 steps leading from the ground to my front door, and they didn't want the stretcher up there for some reason. So they're like, "We'll put the stretcher outside. We'll let you get down these steps, person who can't move." And so we want you to walk through your entire house, and then we'll take you down the steps, and then we'll put you on the stretcher. But they did that, but I caught a glimpse of myself as I'm walking past the mirror, and these guys are helping me, and I look horrible.
Oh
And
my
it's
God.
the first time that I realized, like, holy shit, I really am sick.
Oh my
like-
God, man.
Because we kind of always see ourselves as this superhuman. You know, I can't get. Oh yeah, I'm sick, but I'll do it. When I seen these 2 paramedics on the side of me helping me, I realized it took time. Like, oh crap, that's me.
Oh my
I'm really that bad, and that was scary. So it was enough to kind of jar me to making better decisions about my health. Anyway, though, so again, that's why I'm not on camera. Lay it up again. Yeah. Last night on the Geekgasm, I was a part of Geekgasm for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I think I introduced myself, and then the medication took hold,
Oh no.
and
we
that's
heard
all
was
I remember.
snoring.
Oh God, that's terrible, man. I am sorry.
At least I didn't like snore with somebody's pitch. I imagine that. So there's no
You
pitch for my
did.
comp. I've been working on for 5 years.
You were snoring through the video, but I caught it, and then you got louder.
Oh my God, dude. I did that. That actually happened with me not too long ago with Pops. I was doing the Monday Madness, and I was on vacation in Cornwall, which is the most southern part of the United Kingdom that you could possibly get. Like if you get to the end of that, and you decide to jump into the ocean, with the exception of one lighthouse, that's another 3,500 miles of ocean you need to cross until you see land again.
Ooh.
And no, it's fantastic. I mean, just the view. I mean, if you get to a high enough point and you just look out at a certain part of the horizon, you can see nothing but ocean. It's really sick.
Mhm.
And what happened was we walked a good, God, I'd say about a good 4 or 5 hours. And by the time we got back, I was dog ass tired and I was falling asleep. But then Pops was like, "Yo, man, we got the show tonight." And I'm like, so I'm like, all right, and here I am. I'm turning the camera off because I'm literally falling asleep on air. And then towards the end of it, he hears me snoring. So yeah, it's pretty bad on Rich's end to do anything like that. So yeah, I know how I empathize with you greatly. And if you're tired, you're tired, and if you can't do it, you just can't do it.
I have a question for you, Rich. Do you think Pops, when Pops' legacy is done, it's on paper, is his legacy going to be that everybody does a Pop voice like Macho Man Randy Savage? Like, you can't talk about Macho Man Randy Savage without doing his voice. I think that's going to be the thing with Pops. We're not going to be able to talk about him without everyone having their Pops impression.
Speaking of Pops,
Pops has a very, very recognizable voice, and
yeah, he does. Yeah.
You can't. It's kind of like it's kind. You ever see the meme or the post where Morgan Freeman talks about titty sprinkles?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then you're reading it, and because it's Morgan Freeman. I mean, even in my head, I'm like, the most amazing thing about this picture is in Morgan Freeman's voice. You know, just like that in my head. I'm like, and then he goes, titty sprinkles. I love him, especially after I get out of the shower with my, something like that. And I'm like, I'm reading it in Morgan Freeman's voice. So it's and the same thing with Pops. If you read anything that he posts, it's like, we're going to have the live show tonight, Monday Madness. And I'm just like, fuck me. I'm reading it in Pops' voice.
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I going to get rid of this? It's one of those voices that you have no choice but to hear when you read anything he says or any image that is in any way relying on the image of Pops. And it's just, it's like, oh, look, Phil's here. Hello, comic. Oops.
Phil Minix. Hey.
What's up? Good morning.
hey,
Well,
Chef.
it's afternoon here. It's 2:00 in the afternoon here in the United Kingdom.
So I got a question for you guys, and
what is it?
and this will be good for you too. I know we talked about this last week. Talked about this Tuesday on Livewire, and I got a little bit of a follow up from it. So there was a gentleman. Hey,
What's happening?
so there was a gentleman who did a comic for a company, and the company picked up the movie rights to the comic there in the UK.
God bless him.
Oh, I heard that story.
Yeah. But the creator was like, "Hey, well, I gotta, I'm gonna get something right because in his contract, he's brought this up to my attention. He does have a royalty clause in his contract. The problem is why he can expect nothing of this deal is because they didn't base it, or they didn't. They're saying they're buying the rights based on the UK version of the comic. What these guys have done,
copyright, shouldn't it?
What they've done, Rich, is they've gone around to 3 different countries. So they went to Japan. They had an artist draw the same story in manga. Then they have an artist in the UK. Different artists.
Draw it in different countries.
So it's the same story.
Yeah, but it's a different book in each country.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The artist gets screwed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your title can pick up all of this acclaim, but it's a different artist on each book, and the story is the exact same. I mean, for the most part.
That's incredible.
Now, is the story?
So now he's not getting paid. He's mad.
Wow. Wow. Son of a bitch.
Well, I suggested to him in an email. I said, "Hey, well, that sucks that you got screwed. Why don't you make sure that your buddy or your art brother, the guy who drew the comic in the UK, doesn't get screwed?"
Yeah.
He
must have put in the work, V.
That's horrible. That's horrible. Now, this person could potentially be out of millions, depending on what happens.
Yeah,
potentially. Yeah,
that's incredible.
It's
crazy. I mean, like it. I always feel like it's money you never got, so what's just don't use being mad about it. But then, I mean, you see, it's money you could have gotten.
It's money you could have had based on your creativity.
Money you should have
had based on his creativity and his skill. You know, because they wouldn't have that type. They wouldn't be whatever streaming platform it is. They would not be able to have that type of extra income as a result of your creativity. And as a result of it, they try and get as much as they possibly can, and that's just really disgusting. That's beyond reprehensible.
Yep.
Because it's ridiculous no matter what country you're from or no matter whatever it is you're doing. It's just it's a really disgusting way of doing it, because then they take an idea that's going to be similar to it. You don't have to say what it is. Can completely retitle it and rebrandish it and even change the genre, but it's still the same concept and idea. You know, that there's a certain level of percentage of similarity, I don't know what it is, that you can have in something that you want to take for yourself without having to pay the actual creator, without having the ability to get sued. I mean, there has to be, I don't know what the percentage is, but as long as you're not doing the word for word for the script and then the same friggin' characters, then you'll probably get away with it. And even if you don't, you're talking about years of litigation in which the person
in a different country
would probably spend more money on the lawyer than they would get as compensation, or at least close to it. All that heartache for nothing.
There's no reason to sue them until they've made that $1 million.
There isn't, but
watch the box office.
Yeah, once they made the money,
if it was me, I would do it immediately, or I would make sure that I'd have a lawyer to look over everything. Yeah, that's absolutely every single thing, including international law. You know, that has to be something. We're talking about nothing small, but it's really terrible.
It would be it would be a situation of like, I like to think this: if I was working on a Marvel book, I was working on an X-Men, maybe a 5-issue book, and Pops had created a character, but Rich drew him first over in another Marvel comic, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna have this character over in my book, just for a guest issue, and then Hollywood takes that whole premise and turns it into a movie. Well, Rich has still got to get broke off some money because he drew the first appearance of that character, and they even allude to the look. You know, in the movie, it looks like the character in the comic. So I would think that even though I wrote it, Rich still deserves some paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
No, because it becomes a property of Marvel. If you do anything for any type of large company and you're asked to create a character,
right?
You're the artist on that. You're the artist for hire. This is why they don't hire staff artists there when it comes to their comic books. It's the same thing with WWE wrestlers. It's the same shit with WWE wrestlers. It's the truth. You know, it's like they will contract these wrestlers to make the appearances, but they just put them on the WWE brand, where it's like, yeah, you'll wrestle in our venues, blah blah blah. You could sell merchandise. We'll give you a percentage for that. But at any given time, we can let you go. And they just did that recently with a shit ton of wrestlers to begin with.
Character. We keep that character. You can go be a wrestler somewhere else.
That's right.
Be this guy.
Even the wrestlers, but Dean Ambrose, his actual name, I think it's not John Moxley, it's John something, but it's definitely not Dean Ambrose, you know, and it's like.
I like the Bryan Danielson. I like the Bryan Danielson.
Well, that's his real name.
Actual name, you know, instead of Daniel Bryan, you know, they just changed it. But his actual name is Bryan Danielson, so he can't use Bryan Danielson. I'm still trying to figure out how Phillip Brooks is still able to use CM Punk as he goes from one company to another, because he was in Ring of Honor before. I think he was in Ring of Honor before he went to the WWE. I don't know if he was in WCW when it was around.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But as far as being a Marvel artist is concerned, it's the same thing with the writer. If the editors are going to ask the writer to create a new character, they may have a little bit of a stronger hold on it, but they still don't get nearly the monetary acknowledgement, you know, that they should. And the artist, it doesn't matter. The artist is essentially a hired gun. You know, I mean, I get every once in a great while, I'll get a royalty check from Marvel, but I get like 0.3% of whatever the hell it is.
I have a question for you. Then let's think about this as indies, but I want to talk about these comments afterwards.
Right.
But what would you say then if this happened in an indie book? Like, for example, just to have fun, I took, like I got a book about a witch called Sybil. It's about a young girl who's a witch. And I said, oh, it'd be cool. I'm going to put at the end of this book, just in the background there, Incantessie. I know Rich. He'll get a kick out of it. Just in the background, there she is.
If you're going to do something like that just for the background thing, or if she's going to do nothing, if she's going to just be there standing there innocuous, just ask me. Just ask.
Right.
If you wanted my character to be an integral part of the story, I would want a percentage of whatever is brought in, and I'd also want to have a little bit of like creative input when it comes to the story because it's my character.
And that's fine.
That's it.
And
without permission.
Yeah.
Only.
Suppose they put an Incantessie poster on the wall. Just a poster of a cover of one of your books, like
the poster. Then if it's a poster, then it's nothing because there's been Star Wars posters put up on walls, strategically in other comic books and stuff. Whenever there's like a bedroom or something,
we call them Easter eggs, right? And it's common courtesy to ask, "Hey, man, is it okay if I put the cover of your book?"
Oh yeah, all you have to do is ask. Man.
Yeah, it's common courtesy. And then if they say, fine, send me the panel for approval. Like Rich says, sure, it's fine, but just send me the panel so I can see what you're going to put in the book, and I'll let you know if it's cool or not. Yeah, and Rich says, yeah, okay, it's cool. And then you put a different panel in the book. I'm just saying, don't do that.
That could. Yeah, the old switcheroo. I had to take a panel out of a book because it was too explicit. Yeah, Mr. Odin's joined us. Before you introduce yourself, Mike, let me go on these comments real quick. Someone asked, I think it was the Tough Nerd Toys. That's what happened to Randy. Randy's still in the hospital. I spoke to him. Yeah, I spoke to Randy. He is doing well. He has a swallow test this week, and Randy contracted COVID.
Really?
Yeah. He's hanging in there though. He's in the hospital. He's been in the hospital since around October 16th, 18th. Okay. But they're looking toward to releasing him and getting him back home and getting him healthy. He's in good spirits. I talked to him on the phone. It was cool hearing his voice. He sounds well, and he told me he has stories. He said, "Buddy, I've got stories."
About what?
I can't wait, man. Because if it's anything like Spanx the Monkey Naughty Places. Look, Randy wrote a book about Flint, Michigan strip clubs. I can already see the book about Flint, Michigan hospitals.
Oh God.
So yeah, there you go, Randy. I want another Spanx book. I'm looking forward to it.
He'll do it. Tell you.
He will. Yeah, but as far as that's concerned, as far as the Marvel thing is concerned, once you create something for the House of Ideas, quote unquote, it's theirs for good. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think that was the rumor based on Moon Knight, when a 14-year-old child sent in a submission to it, and they just took the idea for itself, and that was it. And now they're making it into a Marvel television series or another movie, I think. And so it's like it is exactly what it is. They're just gonna. What is that? Is that blue? Yes. Okay, good. I can do this while I'm talking to you. Yeah, I mean that's just really essentially it. If you do something and it's printed in a Marvel or a DC book or an Image book or an Aftershock or an Action Lab or whatever it is, it's their property. It's their property. Unless you have exclusive rights to it, or if you have it copyrighted under your name, and you get a far greater percentage of how many units are sold, as far as that's concerned. You get a greater percentage of royalties if they use a character of yours that you've already had copyrighted.
Why which you have to go through the library donating money to Randy's fund?
That is the old ticker.
Okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah, it doesn't. It will update once people donate.
I didn't
it'll
mean to
change.
interrupt you, Rich. I just seen Randy's name go across the top like he donated money to his own fund. I was like, what?
Speaking of that, Marvy asked a question.
Will we do an auction for
about it.
Luke and Randy? Because I'm asking last night. I was sleeping awake and I heard something for them. Are we still? Is Luke?
It is a no auction.
Luke is doing much better. I spoke to him yesterday.
Yeah, we spoke to him also a couple days ago.
Yeah, he's still going through rehab and everything and getting back on his feet, but he's hopeful to be back home by Christmas.
All right, good. I'm glad he's okay.
To answer that question, it's not an art auction. Geekgasm is doing. It started yesterday. We're doing a holiday help fundraiser for both Luke and Randy. For every $10 that you donate, you'll be put into a raffle. And there on the 17th, there will be a raffle going where you can win comics, Indie Vote swag, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Ooh, swag. I like swag.
And if you become a subscribed member to the YouTube, your money will go towards the fundraiser. You'll get all the membership perks, and you'll be getting an Indie Vote t-shirt.
Ooh, that sounds sexy. I dig it.
Yeah, I was left out of the boardroom on that one. She was like, "Nah,
You left out of the boardroom.
Oh yeah. I hadn't. See, me being sick right now, stuff is going on. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? Who's in charge? Who approved this? Help! I feel like an old man. When y'all gonna start printing out? I seen all of you with your free Britney shirts on. Mike Oden had one. He had a free Britney shirt outside the courthouse, jumping out screaming, Where's your free variant shirt, Michael? Why don't you have one of those? Hey.
Leave Britney alone.
I don't have a free Britney t-shirt. I don't know what you're talking about. This is libel. That's all I gotta say. I would never. I figured and by the way, I'm for our radio listeners and what have you, and those people that can't see me, my name is Michael Oden. I am the creator and founder of Nine Realms Publishing and writer of such books like Elysian Fields and The Embrace, which for backers of The Embrace, we are making headway with the new print run of books, and I'm hoping, based off of the printers' stuff, is hoping to get them here by next week. So I'm hoping to really start fulfillment going here in the next week or two and get people their books by Christmas is the optimal thing. Like, it's not everyone is obviously going to that's not going to necessarily work for everyone, obviously, but you know, as I said, the goal is to try and get as many people the books by Christmas. There's a lot of moving pieces with that because we obviously have people who have signed tiers that need to get their books shipped to Australia, signed by Dean and Corey and Clayton and back. So like there are going to be people that, yeah. Well, and that was the whole thing, is that this book's been done since August, right?
No, my problem is the cost to ship to Australia.
Well, and what's unfortunate is that like I had a pretty solid model that accommodated for a lot of this stuff, given the time that we had done the campaign, but within just the past like 2 months, all the shipping everywhere has gone up like 1.5%. So I'm having to be very, 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 very clever about things. So I'm working on ideas and everything. And
we call it creative financing, Michael.
Yeah, no shit.
You careful. There's a lot of people of Indie Princess and Rich's heritage who have gone to jail for creative financing.
They in mine too, bro. They in mine.
You know what it means.
Whoa! Wait, what? What's that? Wait a minute. Are you stereotyping me?
I am.
Italian?
I stereotype all Italians.
No, you would only have the balls to do that because I'm on the other side of the ocean.
No, he does it to me
You know
all
what?
the time.
I'm going to tell you something. The next time we talk, you're going to be with the. Leave me and my pizza alone.
Rich, you got to remember, he goes to sleep in the same house with an Italian.
Yeah.
He could be sleeping with the fish's tamale.
I don't have to do a thing. Well, I have a joke for you. How do you shut up in Italian?
How's that?
You tie his hands together.
Oh, that's so messed up.
She knows.
Can't move.
Not talking without the hands, and if you go like this, it's like.
I can't. I always talk with the hands. Everybody knows it. Man. I can't.
I don't. You know, that's the funniest thing. I usually don't talk. Well, I am gesturing, but I really don't talk with my hands that much.
I don't actually talk with my hands like the rest of my Italian community, but I am gesticulating at this point in time.
Make sure they understand what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Travis says, he says, do you know that a single issue to Australia costs almost $70 currently?
Yeah,
right.
What we're planning on doing is what I have happening is that I'm going to be sending like all of the books that need to go out to Australia, whether it's individual backers or like the one of each signed tier, like all of that stuff is going to Australia in a big box.
One box.
And then Dean will be handling the Australian fulfillment and will be invoicing me for what he needs to pay for that there. And then it's going to be super not fun for him to ship it back. I'm still trying to figure out how we muster all of that. That's going to be a whole thing where like next time when we do that, if we do another one of each tier signed, it's going to be something where it's like we're going to have to adjust the shipping rate like really high.
I can see this. I can see this all turning bad.
Yeah,
seriously. Well, we just started doing illegal shit to get the comics shipped, like people trying to like smuggle in comics overseas. Hey, listen, I need you to cram this whole case of war up your ass.
Hey, read it. I got something for you.
Living in the UK, I've been stepping up my efforts to have fans in the UK, which I have, But the print house that I use, I fell into luck with that one. The print house that I use, what is it? Mixum is franchise, and they have franchises in the United States. And one of them happens to be maybe about an hour drive from the person who's going to handle my fulfillment. And the shipping is almost minimal. The printing is a little bit more expensive, $1.
Be very careful with Mixum right now.
Yeah,
be very careful.
Blew out. They just screwed fucking Rini over.
They screwed Bancroft too. Like one of the big reasons, Michael Bancroft, the guy that did the Lucent. One of the big reasons why the Lucent took so long. That book was done for like 6-7 months prior to fulfillment.
Okay.
And the big reason why he didn't get it fulfilled sooner was because Mixum sent him like 3 bad batches of books.
Ooh.
So
this isn't about that. It isn't about printing them there. It's about having to have them signed there, sent back here to be given out to American people that bought the signed here. That's what the problem is. I mean, even if they printed them there, they'd still had to have them signed and shipped here.
Yeah, and that's the other big thing is that Mixum isn't actually Mixum is kind of the middleman. They're not the one that are actually like doing the quality control on the printing and what have you. They effectively have a whole bunch of printers that they work with. And so there is no direct quality control from the company to the the printer. So like you need to be very careful. I mean, like what Pops is talking about with Rini, who did Fiendish, was she had ordered her books to be spot UV gloss,
Paid for it.
paid for it and everything, and then Mixom didn't get back to her, just let her know like a week ago, while they were already late for printing her books,
and then they said
they no longer had any spot UV, they couldn't do it.
But it's on their website, and they took her money.
So just be very careful. Like Mixom is usually a fantastic company. They have had a very good track record, and a lot of indie creators use them for a lot of really good reasons. Yeah. Vinny Tartamella recommended them very highly. They handled his hardcover of Through the Woods, and it's beautiful. Like it's very high end, very high quality. And generally they are very good, but I mean, with everything that has been going on, there's just so much uncertainty with stuff. And especially since Mixom is more of a broker than a direct printer, you need to be very careful, and you need to make sure you're keeping up to tabs with them, because if you don't, you could end up in a Bancroft situation or a Rini situation where you've asked for something, and because they don't have the direct knowledge from the printer, they aren't going to necessarily be able to get back to you. Because it could have very well been that, you know, Mixom's other printers had the spot UV and everything like that. But the reason why Mixom's able to optimize their costs is that they have printers all over the place. And so it might have been that just the specific printer that would have given them the specific rate that they offered to Rini, because that printer didn't have spot UV, but one of their other ones might have. But like that's the whole thing, is it's one of those things where Mixom is very tricky, especially right now with all the issues that people are having between paper shortage, ink shortage, all of that. Just be very careful.
I encourage everybody to look for a local printer close enough that you can drive to and see your product.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
If you can get that done.
Not only that, but it don't cost nothing to ship. You just go pick them up when they're done. But quality control is really on you as the creator. And you should know what your people are going to get. And when you use Mixom, you don't know, because they got all the different printers, and every one of them has a different quality.
And I agree. I agree and disagree with that, Pops, because I feel that a printer should also be taking their own business into account and making sure that the books that they put out there are quality. But I do want to address this because Travis Gibb brings up a fantastic point. The paper shortage is really bad. Comic Impressions, who does Second Sight and Scout, has 0 paper. 43 of the people who all print at Marvel, like this is a very big deal. And Comic Impressions is the printer that I switched to for the Embrace, and Rich has been fantastic with keeping me up to date with stuff. The new Embrace print run is pretty much done. He is just waiting for the next paper shipment to come in, and he said that it should be here this week. But that's an example of going back to what Pops was saying, is there is a level of agency that a creator has to ensure the quality of print of their book. What happened with me is the initial printer I used, we got the books in, and I was looking at them, and there were all kinds of issues. There was one of the covers looked absolute garbage. There were issues with story pages that weren't there in the sample print and everything like that. And so I'm obviously not going to take those books and give them to my backers. But that is also something that the printer should have seen and been like, these really didn't come out good. Let's take a look at your print file. Let's do this, let's do that, and make sure that everything is good to go. Because that would have been an easy fix, Yeah. I do think that there is it's a both ends. And with Mixom, it is a bit trickier because they offer these great rates and everything like that. But as I said, they do not have the direct control they do not have the direct
don't know what
connection
you're
to the
gonna get.
printer. They're more of a brokerage, and so that is the risk that you run. But at the end,
I will say the last batch of copies that I had to print, like before all this paper shortage started, it would take about 4 days for a print run of like 75 or like 100 or something. This time for a print run of 50 that I did, it took about a month.
Yeah,
1 month.
And
it's 1 month for them to get the books back. And I got 3 emails, week after week stating that's like we're having difficulty. Now, I went by their track record for quality before, so that's why I wasn't upset about it. The quality was great, as it usually is.
Yeah.
But I do notice the length of time in between jobs that you have. Like you have to, now it's like, if I'm going to print something, it needs to be a month before anything happens.
Correct. And Rich, that's one of those things that sadly, I think that as indie creators are something that we're going to have to plan for. Really, like we really do. We almost, especially from the crowdfunding side, we have to make sure that our books are pretty much done by the end of the campaign, so that way we can have the print file into the printer as soon as possible to make up for any potential delays in the printer, because anything could happen. The original printer I used, like they had a whole bunch of printer issues. Like they had their new printer was being held up at port. Their old printer was crapping out every 5 seconds. And so like it caused these delays, and those things are understandable. But the big problem is that while that's understandable to us, there are people that have invested monetarily. And if we say that we're going to have a product by X date, and now we're well behind that because, well, there were all these problems and everything, it's no longer a thing where we can be like, oh, well, we didn't we couldn't have foreseen this, because like that excuse only works the first time that it happens, and then it becomes, well, you should have planned for this. So like I don't
know if that's fair, because I don't know, because there's such a national, like the paper shortage is real, and I was watching people like downplay the importance of it, while me having a distribution company on the side was like freaking out. And Lola can tell you, there was like 3 days there where I'm on the phone with every printer that I can find that prints comics, or that has the capability of printing comics, and they're like, the paper shortage is pretty bad. Now you'll occasionally run into some printer who tells you this: oh no, man, no, my paper is great. No, I got enough paper. I'm good. And what they mean is, yes,
give them your estimates of what you need, and then they go, oh, I can't do that.
or they say, yeah, no problem. You take your money and disappear.
Yeah.
They're happy.
And that's sadly the unfortunate reality of it. And it's one of these things where, unfortunately, like, as I said, I think that everyone kind of gets a pass for right now, because everyone's still a learning curve. But like every single one of our next campaigns, that's something we have to take into account. That's something that we have to plan for. And so like we cannot at this point, it's almost as if it's more beneficial to be like, all right, well, I'm going to set the fulfillment date like a year from now, even though the book's like almost done, but just set the campaign date so far ahead, so that way, no matter what happens, I can fulfill early.
Yeah, I'm doing that with mine. I was going to release the 3rd chapter in January, but I'm not taking any chances with it. I'll wait till April if I have to, or even May. I might as well just do that and make sure that not only do I have everything finished, I can even get an X amount of issues printed in anticipation of what I'm going to do for the Kickstarter. So I might as well just do that, because whatever I have extra, if in case it doesn't go all the way through, I could sell at conventions. So you might as well just have that, whatever it is, whatever amount it might be, just to have on hand, whatever it is. But
I talk to these guys.
It's getting tricky, but as things go, everybody figures things out, and then we all share our ideas on how to compensate for any type of issues.
I talked to these guys at the con, Comics Wellspring, and that was what, 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago tops. And They never mentioned that they're having any kind of an issue with the paper shortage. I'm not saying they're not. They don't. I'm saying they never mentioned it. You see what I'm saying? I'm interviewing them about, for the madness, for you guys, talking about what they do. And we had a really good talk and a really good interview. But at the same time, they didn't address the issue we know everybody's dealing with.
And that could be just a part of like making sure that people aren't like freaking out and what have you. Better to focus on the positive kind of deal. Or they could also just have, it's like, they could have prepped for this and bought a bunch of stock.
Yes, and that's what I'm asking. Is anybody that used them had heard anything from them about not being able to?
I haven't used Wellspring. The big people that I have used so far is Hero and Villain and Comic Impressions, and I'm trying out Kablam because I've seen a lot of Kablam stuff that has been really good.
I talked to the guys who did
right here. Okay, Mike, right here. Kablam, right? I ordered a book through them. This book came in a Gemini. No board.
Oh boy.
No fucking bubble wrap.
Uh-oh.
Loosen the goddamn thing, flopping around. No. Okay, I've gotten 2 books from them recently, and it was the same deal both times. They're not taking care of you guys when it comes
really
to
okay. I mean, and that's good. That's good to know. But like the reason why I was looking at using them is because Matt Krotz uses them for his Kyrie books, and every single one of those that I've gotten has been in stellar condition and is a well printed book. So I've always given them a try out. But like as you said, like if they're
2 books recently, and I let both creators know these guys are not taking care of your product.
Well, it's also there's a bag and board shortage now.
Okay, but then bubble wrap.
Sure.
Tape it down so it's not flopping around in there. Dude, I mean, there's a lot of ways they could have fixed that. That's twice, like within a month, that I've gotten a book from them that was totally just flopping around in the Gemini.
Now, you bought it off of their website, or did you buy it like purchase a campaign and then it was fulfilled to you?
No, it's off the website.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure we clarify, because if you backed a campaign and they used Kablam printers and then you got the books from the campaign and they weren't protected, that's not necessarily on the printer, that's on the creator. But if it is an order
these
from
are
the
not
website,
from the creator though; these are from Kablam.
No, and that's why I wanted to make sure that that's established.
Planet
because
or whatever.
Because as it's important to make sure that responsibility is put at the right place.
Oh yeah, I just let the creators know that, hey, you going over there and they're selling your product, but they're not necessarily protecting your product.
Yeah,
creators should probably put stickers on there.
It's like nobody wants to get a damaged book.
No one, absolutely not.
If you're going to use a fulfillment company, you should probably use or just start putting stickers and imagery on your campaign. Let people know fulfillment's been done by this particular company. Because, like you said, Mike, you could have someone who gets a book that's been folded on and stepped on, and now they're tagging you in everything they can on social media because they think you sent them a shit book.
Right. And see, and I didn't do that. I went to both people and I was like, hey, yo, this is what I got from Indie Planet when I ordered your book from them. And I just let them know, hey, it's still an impression on you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's your book. It's still going to be an impression on you. And then you have to explain, oh, well, I didn't have anything to do with the shipping of that. Well, then you need to have somebody else handling your product. You see,
Joe says
it still comes down to you. You're the one, using that platform. And if that platform ain't taking care of your product, it still comes back to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Joe says, I hate coming in mid-conversation. Why isn't it possible problems like this planned out? Not the shortage, but the lead time. Creators have control of a release date.
Well,
if you need,
and that's a fair question. I would actually like to take a stab at this.
let me finish reading. Hold on. Says, if you need if you need 4 to 6 weeks to get books from printer, you should probably plan 6 to 8 to be safe. If you get it beforehand and there are no problems, you look good to your backers for fast turnaround.
And that's a Montgomery Scott theory of engineering and printing.
Yeah, 100%, and I don't disagree. I think that for me, and I'll just use The Embrace as an example because it is a book that it is late at this point, thanks to all of the issues we've had. But like for me, it was every single print run that I have done so far, I have gotten within like a week or two. Like they print the books, and I usually get the books within a week or what have you. And so for me, it was, given the volume of books that I usually have on a campaign, I was like, all right, so long as we have the book done by X time, I should be able to get the books in hand within a week, maybe 2, and start fulfillment. And so based off of all the projections from my art team and everything, I knew that we would have the books done by late July, early August. So I was like, okay, realistically, I can definitely get this campaign, start fulfilling this campaign by mid-August. And then if it ends up being early September, that's not a big deal. But again, there were things that I couldn't foresee, such as I said, the initial printer had problems with their machines. They had their new machine, it was held up at port. Then you had the paper shortage. Then you had people not getting ink properly. These are all things that it's like I can't really do anything about. But in the next time, it's just going to be next time I do a campaign, I go, okay, when do you guys think you can have the book done? Okay, awesome. I'm setting it I'm setting fulfillment 6 months ahead of that. And then if we're able to fulfill earlier, then great. We should be able to fulfill earlier. But this way, I don't have people coming to me like I do now. And fortunately, it's been predominantly in private being like, hey, so what's going on about the book and this, that, the other. And I'm trying to keep people up to date. But it's still not a fun thing to go from being the guy that fulfilled 2 books on time, if not early, to now being the guy that has people coming after him being like, yo, this doesn't instill me with confidence to back your brand again because you're 4 months behind. That's one of those things where we can only plan for so much, but I feel that this is a period of great change that I don't think anybody could have foreseen the way that it's gone down. And so that's
my printer told me, the printer I was using, the printer we used for a big chunk of the Liberty books, he told me, he says, Varian, the paper thing, yeah, we're going to be going this. He says, I'm not going to bullshit you. We're going to be going through this for a while. The issue is that we don't have enough people for production of the paper. And when we do get back, there's going to be a build up to get back to that point where we can produce paper. So you're going to notice there's going to be a paper that we can get is going to be really expensive. But also, he says, the upcoming ink shortage, that's going to be where the real problem is at, just globally with no ink. What are we going to do? I mean, most people can just email and send out their bills and do stuff like that electronically, and that's fine. But, I mean, there's a point where, we're going to have to come up against that, an ink shortage. I did see that Travis Gibbs been in the chat. Buddy Lore in the chat. I haven't seen Buddy in a while.
Yeah. Good morning. Hey, what's up, buddy? I ain't seen him in a long time.
Atrocity Press says, I've used Common Wellspring during the shortage and I had 0 issues. They made it on time and the perfect quality. Russ in the house says, good morning, all. Travis says, this is why I finished before I launch. I just finished, expired in 2 weeks shipping, and will get holidays printed, shipped out when they arrive on December 12th. The way I do it is at the printer before I launch. I know it's not realistic to all, but you want to honor your backers the best you can. That's right. That's 100%, right. Think about
that's even what I said at the beginning of this conversation topic, is it's going to be one of those things that creators at the very least have to make sure that the books are pretty much done by the time you close the campaign, so the files can go right to the printer.
You need to be able to maximize your time. In fact, try doing this in the other aspects of your life. As a matter of fact, imagine Imagine who's going to be the king of this theory. We'll call it the Odin theory. Get as much done as you can before you get to the show. So, with the Odin theory, so I want you guys to put on the next Indie Vote shirts, Odin theory. You can, you should have your wallet and your card in your hand when you get to the register at the store. You got to pay for the shit. I don't know why you got surprised and act like, oh, let me find my billfold. You knew where it was at. You knew you had to pay for this shit. Also, making love to your wife. Why don't you go ahead and stroke it off real quick in the shower before you go in there messing with her? Matter of fact, go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish. She'll be so happy when you crawl in bed next to her and just go to sleep. It's already done, babe. Don't worry. And we'll put my mind there. I'm sorry.
To the film.
Yeah, well, Travis said this is why I finished before I launch. When he wrote that, and I'm like, he says it right there. This is why I finish before I launch.
That has nothing that has no sexual innuendo connotations whatsoever.
In this house, it does.
Unless you're a 15-year-old.
We can make anything innuendo, Rich.
Oh my God.
Clearly haven't been on this show long.
Well, everything's an innuendo these days. It's like I can't wait to slip this big package into your bag or some shit
Hold
like
on,
that.
hold on.
Whatever it might be.
There ain't nothing going on in none of your bedrooms that I give a shit about.
Then we can kill more whales to get. Don't we have to kill squid more than whale?
Hey, when I was in the joint, we made when I was in the joint, we made ink out of shampoo and ashes, yo.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, never mind. I'll say this off air. I'm not saying it on air.
Oh my God, help me.
I was gonna say something on air, but now I'm not going to. We need to. Can't we? Why are we still? It's 2021. Why do we still have ink?
I don't know. I have on the regular.
Oof, that's sad.
I love it, Travis. I love it.
I mean, I guess I can't talk too much.
You might screenshot that shit.
Anyways, guys, I do have to run. I have a parent-teacher conference here for my kids' preschool here in the next 15 minutes. I want to make sure that I don't look like a homeless person. So I will talk with you guys here in a bit.
Good to see you.
Thanks for shooting me the link out. It's been a pleasure chatting with everybody. Good seeing everyone in the chat. And I will be coming on a bit more late now that I am not having to go do all the silly shit that I had to do before. And that's been resolved. So you'll be seeing more of my ugly face around here and what have you. So we'll catch you guys here in a bit. Thanks so much for having me, and make sure you guys sign up for the Nine Realms catalog and Elysian Fields remaster, because we got a lot of cool stuff on there. So we're gonna I'm not launching that until fulfillment is well underway with the Embrace. The only reason why I had launched the pre-launch page was because we were supposed to be getting our books by the end of that month, and when we did, they weren't good. So that entire thing has been put on pause. So anyways, you guys have a good one. It was great chatting, and thanks for the link.
Yeah, no problem, Mike. Always welcome. Sounds like the who let the dogs out is starting up in Pop's house. That's okay. My dogs can't hear it, which is good because my dogs are very small.
We can make them hear it. Listen to that.
God.
It sounds like the Howling, like they've all discovered their wolf
It's
cell.
three-part harmony or misharmony or something.
Sin Killer says, just took a second to say, smash the like button. I was only one. Hey, yeah, smash that like button, folks. Buddy says, he's talking to Russ. Says, yeah, it's usually only something repeat offenders or those with expendable income can do, or if you are sole creator and work on it. So, I guess I with the paper shortage, because I've heard people do pie in the sky, like, oh no, this paper deal is gonna be finished in December. We'll be good. And everybody that I talk to, complete strangers, who had no reason to lie to me, were like, no, no. You're looking at, I had one guy tell me, talk to him in July. And he can see where he's at in July. Yeah, I'm rocking the Indie Princess avatar on my page. Lola went and changed the avatars to everyone's stuff. So I was like, since I'm not mobile and able to move around,
I'm gonna go
yeah,
get
that's
more
the thing.
coffee. I'll be right back.
All right, sir. So Lola, let me ask you a question. You're in the middle of fulfillment. You are not in fulfillment yet. Things are coming in. Are you nervous?
No. More stress than anything. I know I gotta put all the packages together.
Mm.
I'm starting to get my list together of who gets what. So.
Have you had any problems back with your Kickstarter surveys?
No, I'm only waiting on maybe. This is a high number too. 10, I want to say, if that.
10 surveys, huh?
If that.
Now,
That's a high number.
Now, Travis, I know you're in the chat. You talked about the surveys before. How do you remind others gently to, to fill out those surveys and get them back to you? You can't ship the product till you get the survey, correct? I mean, that's where they give you their information. Is that right? I mean, I've never did a Kickstarter.
Right. So. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have their information except for their,
We got their email.
Right.
But
so would emailing them, I mean, my problem is, do you want a situation like that one guy, that one asshole, Dusty, who gets mad because you reach out and say, hey, I noticed this change. Anything I could do to help? What do you do? How do you tell somebody, hey, yeah, I'm waiting on your 10 surveys? I mean, you still got time, sure. But what do you do? Before you answer that, either the look Lola gave with that question. Why the F would I be nervous? It's a done deal.
Not nervous. The campaigns were nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But
the campaign's the worst part. It is the worst part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can see that being horrible. I mean, watching her stress out through it, I thought about it, said, you know what, maybe I should do a campaign. Maybe I should do one for one of my books, and just so I can have that experience. And
if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it for you. So
yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a try. Let's see here. Apex comments. I keep all my Gemini mailers from ordering books. I need to ship my books out. Apex, I've heard people doing that. I've seen people get mad, like, this guy shipped me a second tier Gemini. Well, those things are good for a couple of different mailings. I know that I kept
send my school books back with those.
Yeah, I went through. Me and a friend traded the same Gemini mailer back, mailing each other. I think about 3 times. On that 4th time, it had suffered a little bit of catastrophic damage, to the point structural damage. It was like, all right, maybe time to retire this one. But I mean, this was going out like every other week. Let me send you this, and then he'll send it back to me, a different one. And so yeah, I've reused some Gemini mailers. I have. Travis, I probably messaged him, but after a while, you just have to move on. Recently, I sent out a broke down number 1 for someone that never filled out the survey in 2018. So, Travis, let me ask you this then. I know you're not on the show. It must be getting nerve-wracking to answer all these questions in text, but what would happen then? Is like, I mean, I know it's a court of public opinion, obviously, but like, if someone fills out a survey from 2018 today, like, oh man, this totally, I wasn't on my radar. I'm so sorry. Here's my survey. It's now December 2021. I mean, we could basically call it 2022 now. Are you still on the hook for that book, or did you send that just because you're being an upstanding curator? Because I mean, that's a lot of time. You had a point to fill out the book and send a survey. Like, this Kickstarter have protections?
If that happened to me, I would still send out the book or books, depending if I have more than one that they bought. But as far as the swag and all that other extra stuff, I'm sorry. If I don't have it on stock, you're not getting it.
Right. I I'd be almost well, it depends if they were stretch goals, yeah. If it was tier stuff that I no longer have, I'd refund them the cost of that tier stuff,
Yeah.
and still send the book. But that could be a pain. That could be a big pain.
I mean, if it's something that I can get fast, then yeah, they're gonna get it. But
Wouldn't that be funny too? They'll send Travis a message. I bought a first printing of this book. This is a third printing. I want my money.
here's Travis with his ego.
As if because I was not syndicated without Kickstarter, as if you guys ever as a year after you said that you would send. Oh, okay. However, use BackerKit. There might be before you. However expensive. Yeah, and I want to talk about stuff like BackerKit too. I want to do on special issues.
Geminis, Apex, Geminis, they don't have to be expensive. If you use a special code that we have, it is Volt10, VOLT10.
Yep, Volt10 will get you say 10% off your Gemini mailer.
I
might as
just
well.
ordered 100 of them, and I got a really good price.
Buddy says, I have to say, unless things drastically change, I won't create a account before I have put out 5 times more what I crowdfunded. Once I finally get this book out, I'm going back to light novels.
Yeah, it's, I agree with that. As soon as I God, I will say this: as soon as chapter 4 is rolled out, I'm gonna restart the book and I'm gonna do like 22 to 26 page comics. Oh, by the way, yours, Lola, the stuff that you asked for will be coming to you shortly.
Okay.
Because I'm sending it out for fulfillment. I'm sorry that it took so long.
Oh, no problem.
I thank you for that. Postage, no joke, has gone up in the UK shipping to the US from like 150%. What used to cost me £12 now costs 26, which is close to $40 in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's rather ridiculous for one package. So, yeah. So I have I think RJ is going to take care of the fulfillment. I got lucky with a commission gig that I got paid a pretty decent amount. Now I can ship those, and no matter what it is, it's going to get there, and you should get it. Hopefully, you'll get it before Christmas.
If not, that would be a birthday gift.
Either one, whatever it is, whatever I can do. Hopefully, I'll get it to you as soon as I can. I'm going to get it out this. I should be able to get it out this week or early next, one way or the other.
Hey, let's see here. Travis says, for example, that Dog Days that hasn't been shipped. Out of Dog Days. Hasn't shipped yet? I thought we worked our way through that. Okay. Hasn't shipped. When the books are ready, Marcel can't get the surgery to see what people have, the survey, see what people have failed. I'm like, surgery? He did write surgery. Just for you.
He keeps saying surgery.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because he's on his phone typing and I don't correct it for him. They do that because they don't want people selling email lists. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, right here. If you send a book, you have a discount before it's a cultural item. I'm gonna redo all my books in different language. This is a cultural item, sir. This is a.
I'm speak to talk.
Randy does that a lot. He'll be talking. He'll do text to speech. So, he'll be like, "What are you doing?" Period. That looks horrible, buddy. Period. Smiley
That's
face.
what I do. I do digital copies.
Yeah, so there's a copy of Seattle back into the voice, but yeah. Digital copies, yeah. And next over, all over.
Look, if you live in the UK and you got a book I want, I know the shipping's going to be ridiculous.
Oh, it's beyond ridiculous, right?
Okay, I already know that as a fan. So you have your international tier, and I would make it just like that, an international tier. It's going to cost you more if you live somewhere else right now. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Okay, just set up a tier for, Aussie tier and a UK tier, and take into account the shipping costs. I don't know. I mean, everybody knows. There's no reason anybody should think they're going to get some kind of a super break right now on shipping. You know, I mean, so you offer the digital, but you also offer it. Hey, you guys know it's going to cost you. I'll get it to you, but you know it's going to cost you.
We got to get Pops on. We got to get a not a screenshot, but a audio clip of Pops saying my favorite line. It may cost you a little. It may cost you a lot, but it's gonna cost you. You know, my high school algebra teacher, who he has a special place in my heart. He's a really cool guy. And when he found out I was having problems with 9th grade algebra, I went to this man, Colonel Backlund, and I said to him, I said, "Hey, I'm having problems with math with this." I said, "Could you give me a couple weeks to catch up?" He was like, "Well, sure. What are you having problems with?" I told him. I said, just don't call me for like the next 2 weeks because I don't want to be wrong in front of everybody and like an idiot. That's what I asked him. And he said, "Yeah, sure, no problem."
He called
Walked
you.
into class. Now, guys, remember, I went to military school, so I should have known you don't reach the level of colonel without stabbing people in the back. And the minute I sat down and we started, he says, "So now I'm going to ask a favorite student, Mr. Varian Grant, about this problem." And I'm like, "What? You just talked about this. I just said 2 weeks, like the betrayal."
Yeah.
And but he used to have the same, and it was you pay now or you pay later, and you usually pay more later. And I was like, yeah. And for like 2 months, I tried to find the opposite of that, like some way to disprove it. Couldn't find a one way to improve to disprove it. I tried hard too. I tried like, well, what if I went, you have no idea how far out on the limb I went.
I can
Find
see
qualifiers.
you creating scenarios for yourself.
Yeah, you're like, okay, so what if I go in the strip club and the girl is like, yeah, it's $200 for the VIP, and I'm like, nope. And I wait till like 1:30, and she's like, okay, it's $100 for the VIP. Well, now I've saved money. Problem is, you go to the VIP and you come out of there and you're probably itchy now, so
Well,
probably paying like
but
anyway.
also, everybody else already been in the VIP with her.
Yeah, so yeah.
If you're doing that, you go in at the beginning of the shift, bro. Just saying. You know, that should have been in Spank's book.
So you pay now or you pay later, and you usually pay more later. And you pay later if you're the last one in that room. It's same with comics though. Think about it. You got a comic you like, you see it on the shelf, you don't buy it. 3 months later, it's ridiculously priced, unless you're a comic shop by me, in which they're not really a comic shop. They're a game store, and they just happen to have comics. And I've walked in that store before and found comics that have been sold out, quote unquote, for 2 weeks in pristine condition sitting on the shelf.
Cover price, huh?
At cover price, and I buy them all, and I take their
game stores. I do love game stores for that reason.
Yeah, I remember asking them after I bought the books. I'm like, "Do you know what that book is worth?" And we don't care. We don't have a comic book guy. Are you looking for a job? Like, hell no, ill. But
you don't want to be a comic guy, man.
Ew. It's like, it's like employment. Ill. Stay away from me. It's catchy.
Right?
Yeah, like break off a paycheck. Ew. What's that? I feel sexy today because I'm drunk. I want to listen to Kiss. Lick it up. Lick it up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Rich's infant.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I just try that. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Lick it up.
Well, that's nice. But Pops has recently or throwing out all his Kiss albums.
Oh God.
Oh man, no, just the ones with Gene.
That's all of them.
No, it's not all of them because the best guys in Kiss aren't Gene.
Oh yeah, Simmons. Gene Simmons.
Oh, I know. It's always been him. But when he says "fuck my freedom," okay, well, fuck you then. I got nothing left for you.
So you had to toss. Did you get rid of any Kiss memorabilia, or
I
did
don't
you?
own any, dude. I don't know. The only Ace Frehley stuff I have are like signed pictures,
Okay.
CDs. It's like I don't own any Kiss stuff anymore.
I wouldn't know. I haven't had anything Kiss related within the last
I
3
think I might still have a
years.
t-shirt.
I mean, the last thing Kiss related that I had anything to do with me was I saw Ace Frehley at a bar performing in 1994 of all places, and it was like it was a shit venue. He sounded like shit, and well, one thing I've discovered listening to like just on YouTube, I mean, it was like Paul Stanley. I think he read from his biography or something like that. I really despise Paul Stanley as a person. He decided to the one I don't give a shit what he says about Gene or Ace or Vince or whoever the hell Vinnie Vincent or anybody else that went there. He decided to talk about Eric Carr.
And that triggered Rich.
Well, that triggered me because the guy died of cancer of the heart, and he was still playing. He's still, I mean, literally died, and he was continuously asking Paul Stanley, when's the next gig? But like, the cancer is eating his heart, so it's kind of disgusting. He called him a diva. He called him a crybaby, and I'm like, you know what, Paul Stanley, you're a dick.
Yep,
you're a dick. If you say something like that about the best drummer that band ever fucking had, you're an asshole. And I'm done. Fuck you, Paul Stanley. You're an asshole.
So the two that we don't like have given us again yet more reasons not to like them.
That's right. Yeah. It's fuck Gene. Fuck Gene. Oh God, he's the ugliest bastard in the world. First time I ever saw the first time I ever saw the video for "Lick It Up," I'm like, put your goddamn makeup back on, you. With the exception of maybe Paul Stanley with that chiseled 1980s glam face and shit, where he had the androgynous look. He also had the androgynous look.
That is him, though.
It's I'm like, put your damn makeup on. You look like the retards that I picked on in high school. What's wrong with you?
You know what you do is, for me, I grew up with a lot of different music around, but people don't realize how big of a fan of the Wallflowers I am. And the Bee Gees. Those Gibb brothers don't play.
Come on, you like Andy the best.
Is Travis a member of their family?
That's what I've been telling everybody. I hope he is. Now, if he's not,
he'd be, if he wasn't married, he'd probably be saying it. I would.
Yeah.
If he grows his hair out, he could be like,
oh yeah. I have enough.
My aunt had all their albums, and I used to think that Barry Gibb, I used to think he was Jesus.
Oh, they all look like Jesus, all except for the one who was losing his hair.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I used to think, I was like, this is what Jesus looks like. And I'm pretty sure my dad was very happy that I'm pointing to this white man on this cover, like, this is Jesus, Dad. He's like, that's Barry Gibb. Go ahead.
Barry Gibb did more drugs than a pharmacy down the block. Jesus Christ.
Half the people in music are Jesus if you're gonna go by that.
Well, now you got your Obi-Wan pictures up. You can put those up and say, because he looks like it too. See, Buddy Lord says one headlight, still listening to that song here and there again. Yeah, it's a good song. I when Eric found out, he'd immediately repossessed my black card. I don't know if you guys know what it's like to have a white man take your black card, but it hits hard.
I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I don't even know how that happened.
I will not, because I know me. I will just open my mouth and say stupid shit.
No, I want the explanation. How does a white man take your black card?
They say give it here. Man, give me your black card. I seen what you did. Did you cross street at the crosswalk? Black card, give it up. Did you?
Oh,
Yeah. Did you throw away a pop bottle? Black card, give it up. Travis says, so fun fact, Barry Gibb has a son named Travis Gibb that is also 42 years old and lives in Florida. I often get private messages asking to have my dad sing for someone's mom or dad. That's awesome. Now, that I would start going around like, you should get a shirt that says, hey, I'm Travis Gibb, and just walk around with that, Travis. And then when you go to restaurants, he's like, oh, you eat for free, Mr. Gibb. Your dad's awesome. And like, thank you, he is. Like there's a millionaire named Dorothy Cook. Even has a passing resemblance to my mother. Very quick passing resemblance. I'm convinced that I was switched at birth. That Dorothy Cook gave birth to me, and they sent me home with the wrong one.
Varian.
Yeah.
My mom's name is Elaine Cook.
Is it? See? Now I got to go back and find out if Pops own my family or not. Because do some research, find out what the hell's going on here. It's
she married the name, but I'm just saying, it's like
see,
Cook,
yeah, but there's a millionaire Dorothy Cook out there, and I'm like, there's my mama, there's my real mama. Yeah. They sent me home.
Mama.
They sent me home with you. You made me cut the grass. She made me cut the grass. So I from Indie Vault Radio, and this is a good one for all of you guys. Tell me what you think about this. This is from Pissy Pete. Pissy Pete.
Pissy Pete?
Pissy Pete, yes.
Holy shit, here we go.
Get some of that magic up in here.
From Indie Vault Radio, he writes in, he says, I am beyond pissed, which is funny because his name's Pissy Pete.
Beyond pissed? Why is he beyond pissed?
I guess pissy is beyond pissed. Okay.
I went home and found my girlfriend let her 2 mongrel children
go. Oh, that's a lovely thing to say about a child.
Yeah, right. Go to town on my indie books, coloring the black and white pages. Good. All throughout the mall. I'm talking about Cyber Frogs. I'm talking about he's talking about the original, so I'm talking about old Conan. My aunt used to do that. He's also talking about some newer indie books that are black and white that they went through and colored. She told me they're just comic books and to get over it, quit being such a kid. I want to punch her in her damn mouth.
Wow. That's 2 things that that make me really like a person. When you want to punch a woman in the mouth, and when you call children mongrels. Yeah. That's great. I wish the kids had the wherewithal to defecate all over those books and say, "Hey, look at this! Check this out!" Just like.
Now I have been in the presence of little monsters. I have one. He's horrible. That child is yeah. But punching her in her mouth for telling you to grow up.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I understand you mad about your books, and I understand that can be costly. Atrocity Press thinks that shit is hilarious.
When your old lady tells you to grow up, that's when you say, "Why? You married the kid." Deal with
Guys, how do you protect your books from that? How do you protect your books? Like when you get a relationship with a person, you tell them.
I got this one buried.
All right, let's see.
Okay.
I got 4 grandkids. I taught them to respect the comics. I gave them a box of their own. We buy them comics. We teach them how to care for these comics so that they'll still be in decent condition when they're older. That's kind of on us as parents, step parents, whatever. If you have a collection and you got munchkins around, you need to educate the munchkins on First, the value to yourself, how much you love these, how much they mean to you. And once you've done that, the kids kind of get the idea that, oh, all right, we need to be really careful with these, and maybe he'll let us have some. And kids can be taught. Plain and simple. So can wives. Just saying.
And husbands need to be changed to talk to, because we were at a Comic-Con, and Randy's a much better person than me, because this is 2 years ago, and we're standing at the convention. I think Lola remembers this, and this very pretty blonde girl comes by the table, and she's like, "Oh my, I love the art. I'm an artist. I really want to do my own comic book." And she was gorgeous. I'm talking about like supermodel hot.
Mhm.
Now here's the thing. Anytime somebody says they want to make comics, I'm like, hey, how can I help? But this was 10 times more because she was hot. Yeah, so I'm like, how can I help you make comics, sweetheart? Anything I can do. My wife, don't mind her. She's gonna sit there looking mad all the time. Don't mind her. Let me help you make comics. No, what does Randy do? Randy says, "Why the fuck don't make comics? Oh, don't do that. Like paint, don't make comics. There's no money here." And I'm like, Randy, don't tell her that. Wait a minute. And her boyfriend's standing there too, and I'm like, and he doesn't seem interested in the con at all. Like he's already checked out. He wants to leave and
Right.
go get a beer or something. Like I don't want to use the term metrosexual, but he was definitely, like
Go ahead.
not into like he wasn't into anything we were like, like there was at the show.
He was
And you could tell he had his plaid, button up shirt and his tight jeans and his hair across the tips in 2018.
Wow, I can't wait to put my tongue into that. How about that one, huh? That's sexy.
But but I'm like, no, but wait a minute, you can make money with comics. And Randy totally chases the girl off.
Yeah.
Shakes her.
Uh-huh.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. It is that I want to ask him. Why'd you? You know what? I'm gonna ask Randy when he comes out of the hospital. I'm gonna remind him of that day and say, "Why'd you talk about me, bro?" I would have straight ask him, "Why'd you?" Me and Lola both do it. Why'd you cock block us? Why'd you do that? Like, why, Randy? We were a team. You get to see, if you didn't want it in comics,
to the top.
Yeah. Yeah, see, Apex knows that hot chick with the metrosexual boyfriend, he's a real man. That's right. She needs some toxicity in her life. Me, I can be a toxic person in her life. I'm horrible. But I do think that now we got some hate mail.
Got some hate mail.
Right?
Got hate mail. Please read it. Oh my god, I love it.
So we got some hate mail. So okay, I checked this out, and it's and this is okay. So this is from Craig, and Craig says, "I like your show, but I have to roast you all, and I have to roast you and your commentators." That's really weird. Okay, so it says that. Okay, so here we go. It says here that Eric sounds like he's constantly burning the roof of his mouth. Sounds like he's constantly burning the roof of his mouth. I'm trying to think how Taka does. No, Eric sounds like he's burnt like his throat, not his mouth, not the top of his mouth.
Okay, yeah.
Eric sounds like this.
Yeah, but he has a problem. He has a reason for it.
Lola's too quiet and never speaks. That is something that is wholly unique to Livewire Lola, because Livewire Lola does not speak, whereas I can't get Lola off the camera to not speak. So she's always talking. Let's see, Pixel. Hello. It continues.
Wow, thank you so much. Pixel just donated $200, guys.
Oh, Thank you, Pixel. Appreciate it, sir.
Wow.
Good man. Good man.
Wow.
Appreciate that. I'll be going out to now, Lola. You breaking it up between Randy and Luke?
I'm splitting it between the both
Okay.
of them. Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Thank you,
did post
Pixel.
that in the madness that was going on for Luke and Randy. It
Yeah,
is-
I
it is up in
tried,
the madness,
and Facebook flagged every one of my posts because it goes against Facebook standards.
What?
Yeah,
Well, it's up in the madness right now. They didn't flag me, so
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I shared in a whole bunch of different groups, and they flagged every post I made.
damn, that's weird. Well, it is up in the madness. If you guys need the link, it's there. It's in the chat here, obviously. If you want to help out, what's up, Sugar Chris?
Sugar, I still got that red dress coming for you. Don't
That's my
worry.
nephew right there. That's my nephew.
I have to get going. There's a couple of things I got to take care of, and I got to be out of here by 4:00, another half hour. Thank you for having me here, man. I really appreciate
problem,
it. I hope I can appear again at some point.
Always
Sunday,
welcome to have you.
Sunday, 1:00.
Yeah, Sunday, 1:00. Yes. While I'm here, Sunday, 1:00. Anybody who's an artist or anything, please join. We're gonna have like what is it again? I forgot the title of it.
Madness Open Draw Stream, baby.
On this open draw stream, it's gonna be me kind of hosting, and
Yo, it's
also
your
wants to
show,
join
bro.
we're gonna do that for. Well, how long do you think we'll do that for, Pops? At least a couple hours, not more.
It's your show, man. Whatever you want to do with it, Rich. It's your show.
If it was
I'm gonna hang out with you, but
if it was
it's
like
your
at least 3 hours, that would be fine with me.
whatever
Would
you
not
wanna
care.
do.
It's on a Sunday anyway, and if anybody from the States joins, they can do whatever the hell they want.
It's like I said, man. On the weekends in the summertime, I might not be there every weekend, but
Yeah.
it's your show, bro. So
All right, man. Yeah, let's definitely do it. So yes, Monday Madness Draw Stream, all that stuff is going to be this Sunday, 1:00. Pops is going to throw it up on Madness. I'm gonna post it. I'll share it. I'll tag people, whatever the hell. I want to have a nice
It's
art
the
jam.
debut.
Let's get all the creative people together. Let's have some fun.
The premiere. I think Peter Palmiotti is going to try to be there. Allison McGlone's going to be there, and anybody else, man. It's
Open March
early
of
enough in the
Barbara
day
Street.
for you UK people can come. It's early enough in the day so you guys can be out there. It's not when you think I'll be midnight and shit for you guys. So
Yeah.
you know,
That kid Adam Smith I introduced to a while ago. I think he's going to do that. Let's see what happens.
cool.
But
cool.
yes, guys, thank you very much. I will see you all again.
All right, sir. You have a good day.
Peace out.
He's Rich. He's a good dude. I like Rich. Rich, a good dude.
The roles continue, by the way. The
Huh?
roles continue. Yeah. Okay. Let me finish here. It says the it says the J.D. McPhee. That's Joe D. McPhee.
What?
Sounds like the Allstate man, and like he's pitching insurance. It's fucked up, Joe. If you want this guy's email, I'll give it to you. Oh, it pops is on the list. Pops on the list.
All right.
It gets better though. It gets better. Okay. It says here that let's see here. Let me go through here. Brandon looks like Donatello with no mask. Okay. He's on the Pitches crew right now, I guess. Okay. Lisa's way too smart to be on that show. Did Lisa write these? I'm gonna find out. Now it says here that Pops looks like he smells like cheap weed.
Oh, it's not cheap, brother. It ain't cheap. Tell him, B. It ain't cheap.
Yeah, it's like
Hey,
it's expensive shit. What are you talking about? Cheap. I only
every
buy the
time
best
you-
I have. You know.
Every time I do this, the room smells that way too.
Which one, the guy from the unit or Mayhem? I think it's the guy from the unit. You sound like Dennis Haysbert.
Hey, if that's the worst he said about me, that I might smell like weed. I guess I'm doing okay, yo.
Cheap weed, sir. Cheap weed. There's a difference.
Guys, if anyone wants to just pop in and say hi, because we are winding down, the link is in the chat. So feel free to stop by and say hi.
Pop smells like cheap weed newsprint. That's the rumor I'm putting out there. Cheap weed, Hennessy, and vodka.
Cabo.
Cabo, okay.
Tequila. Cabo tequila. And no beer. I don't, cheap weed don't do that to you, brother.
As Pops has as Pops demonstrates what happens when you catch SARS on our network. We're just gonna watch.
All that resin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what protected me.
He's a dreamer. Oh, by the way, people, I seen this today. This, we're winding down, so I'm gonna get a little more candid. Do not, under any circumstances, go. If you get sick and you can tie back your infection, especially something like COVID, to an event, do not tag that event in your "I'm sick" post.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Because that post will let everyone know that you're making that event seem like they gave you the
and
illness.
You're acting like you scientifically know that.
Yeah.
And you don't.
No.
You have no idea where you contracted whatever you contracted.
Yeah.
Okay? You could have, a restaurant, you could have got it when you went to lunch.
Yeah, you could have getting in the Uber, standing behind that one weird lady.
Nobody knows where they got nothing.
Yeah, the hotel. When you're at an event, at a Comic-Con, how many places do you go? You go out to dinner. You're in contact with a lot of people. You hang out at your hotel. You go to other people's hotel. You go to after parties. It could have been anywhere.
You could get it at the first restaurant you go to when you get into town before you've gone anywhere near that con.
Now, what you can't get, what you can't get anymore is lure. At the printer, it's actually should be finished at the printer. I keep waiting to get that email telling Lola she can come get her books.
It's still in production. I checked this morning.
Mm-hmm. See, that could change. It'll be like print it and done.
I kind of expect it's going to take a little while because with Thanksgiving and everything, it's going to take a little bit.
One dude. Yeah, they do. They just knocked out. I'm out. And I know that because I've been the guy that farted before now. I you know what? I don't think I've ever broke wind at a Comic-Con. But now the hotel room, that's a different story. The minute I walk in there, I'm just like flatulence. But get it all. I'm going to break wind until. Although I almost got trouble for that when I was a kid.
The room.
Yeah. I've had I remember Eric
to bring air freshener with us to the hotel rooms now because it's so bad.
Eric once told me, he said, "Geez, sure you don't need to go outside next time? You should go to the doctor, get that checked out. No one's supposed to smell like that." Oh shit! That's great. I also want to ask from Indie Vote Radio. We got someone that wrote in and said, trying to get my daughter some art supplies for Christmas. Could you please advise on cheap yet well manufactured art equipment? Try Artist Loft at Michael's. They have a pen, a marker that is very comparable to Copic. The Copic markers is very comparable to them in color, but not in price. They were looking at one point to put those markers at about, Lola, was it $1.75 or $2.15, something between there?
Something like that, yeah.
And so they were competitively priced. Check them out.
If you're looking for multi-liners, I got our son some at Five Below, just because you're starting out inking.
Yeah, and then go in some of the art stores. If you have a Blick in your neighborhood or by you, go there. Let them know what you're looking for. They might have 2 or 3 different brands, like of a particular thing you're looking for. I typically use Copic or Pigma markers because they are better quality. I'm pretty sure there's some other stuff out there, and I'm always searching. I think as an artist, you spend probably 78% of your career testing out new tools, and only for them to discontinue them 2 years later when you begin to like them. But yeah, so try that. Just shop around, and but try the Artist Loft stuff from. I want to say that's Michael's.
It is.
Yeah, I try that, and some of these stores, Hobby Lobby, they have a store brand too, a couple dollars cheaper than the big name brand version.
And if you don't have a Blick by you, you can always go to the Indie Vault website, and if you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, there will be a link to Blick art materials.
Right, and then you got keep in mind there are some things you probably don't want to skimp on. So like
don't use Sharpies
paper
for inking.
Yeah, well, big black area, sure, but there's some those Faber-Castell pit markers. They come in different sizes. Although black is really hard to find, the large black one is hard to find in stores right now. You can order it off the internet, but try using those because Sharpies will turn and fade over time. The PITT pit markers from Faber-Castell. I use those for large black areas.
I use microns like Apex.
Yeah, microns are what I learned with. Excuse me. I learned with microns, and then started doing Copic multi-liners. And Lola got me as a gift, got me the refillable one, so with the metal casing. So I'm all fancy. Prismacolor, yeah, that's what I was doing. That Prismacolor, they're a good one. You can probably find a and two, go on
they sell Prismacolor at Walmart.
Yeah.
I've seen them at Five Below. Prismacolor's everywhere.
Yeah, you can find some decent art material. Sure.
I know you guys weren't up late last night, but
yeah, we were.
Did you hear anything about my appearance on Bancroft Show?
No.
No, I didn't know you were on. That's why you did tell me you were going to go on there.
Oh, dude, I had a blast. Those guys are great. Okay, Joe and Michael, they let you say what you got to say. They engage with the audience. They engage with the chat. Everybody, dude, that chat was moving so fast last night. You couldn't even keep up with it. You know, there was like 140 people watching at one point, and I don't know, but even Bancroft was kind of blown away. He's like, I don't know where all these viewers are coming from. It was fun. Chris was watching it, and he said it was like now people know, now that audience has an idea what the madness is about. And I'm watching the membership and the madness go up, and I gained like 20 subscribers last night. The Bancroft bump is real, and it's not just for creators. I'm saying,
yeah.
But yeah, man, those guys are awesome, man. It's like there ain't even no way to describe when somebody brings you on and lets you pitch your show, your action to another audience. You know what I'm talking about, B, because you did it for me back in the beginning. We
got Lyman in the chat now.
Someone say yeah, we got someone wrote in and said they're trying to find art spots for their daughter. They don't have a lot of money, so they're trying to find some economical versions outside of the bigger name, outside of your Copics, your Pigma or Sakura Pigma.
Do you see this right here? This is the mind of a 9-year-old girl. She created her own book. She tied the binding together with a string, right? It's got pages. She hasn't done the inside yet. And she goes, okay, Grandpa, she comes down with this. And she goes, okay, I made the book. What do I do next? And I was like, well, now you got to figure out who your characters are going to be, and character development. So she drew her characters, Penny and Izzy. And then I was like, okay, well, now you got to kind of figure out what your story is going to be. She figured out what her story is going to be. I said, you got page layouts. I said, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of work to this. I want to start on the cover, Grandpa. So Penny and Izzy Discover a Dino is going to be her first attempt at making a comic book.
Aw.
10 years old. I freaking love it, dude. You people are a great influence on my granddaughters and grandsons, and I love that. You know,
Well, that's you have to make copies of Penny and Izzy so we can all read it.
dude.
I
When it's done, we'll take it apart and we'll send the files out somewhere.
Yeah, we'll do a kids revolt book. It'll be all kids art, and we'll,
And me and our son are working on a comic too.
yeah.
Well, see, my girls got the idea from Michael Gonzalez' book, his daughter's book, The Agents of Shh. Okay, they actually reviewed it last week on the Madness Show. The girls, 9 and 10-year-old girls reviewing a 9-year-old girl's book. It was freaking awesome, dude. Next gen, man.
Yeah.
Next gen, got to bring them in. Got to bring them in all the way as collectors, as creators, as fans, all of it. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm really living the dream right now when it comes to comic life. Having a good time.
And finally from Indie Volt Radio, and this comes from Nate, and Nate is he's pretty upset. He says, hey, I spent over $15K getting art, colors, and whatnot done for a book that I'm hoping to put out in 2022. I was considering crowdfunding, but was told that I'll probably never be able to crowdfund the book due to the subject matter. I take a look at the Trail of Tears and what happened to the Native American in this country. Even though I myself am not Native American, I have several friends who are, and they've given me stories to put inside of this book. But I'm being told that I had no place to write these stories and that I should not put the book out because it is appropriation of the
name. Pen name. Don't put your picture up. Screw them. Do your thing, man. I ain't lying. I'm straight up.
Well, Pops. Yeah, I mean, they'll still know it's him, but I mean, I get what you mean. I do.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's some people out there that are real good about protecting their identity when it comes to their product.
Oh, sure.
I ain't gonna say nothing about nobody, but I'm just saying there are people that are very good about it.
Yeah.
I know a few.
that is true, but I would like to think that you could do the story. I mean, look, I think that sometimes representation stuff we kind of get lost in what it actually means, and it gets to the point where it's gonna get dangerous.
As a creative consultant, and then they can't say shit.
Right, because like what I keep hearing is, oh well, you shouldn't voice this character because you're not that nationality of this character, or you shouldn't. And I understand where they're coming from, but I don't agree with it because you hire the best person for the job. Phil Lamar, I love Phil Lamar's Gambit. Phil Lamar, the actor he's an actor, and you remember him from Mad TV,
right?
He was the voice of Gambit, and I believe it was it Wolverine the X-Men, or was it X-Men Evolution? It was one of them. He was the voice of Gambit, and no one said it because people couldn't even tell. And so there was a black man as the voice of Gambit, which was cool to me. I was like, oh, that's awesome. It showed versatility and skill, not I'm just gonna
It's not like the dude rewrote the story for his black heritage.
Yeah, so I thought that was a little weird. I thought it was weird, and I thought that I get worried because what happens then, Pops? Like, what happens when someone says, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna take I'm not gonna try diversity because I'm not that person." So I guess since I'm this white kid from the burbs, I'm just gonna have to write all my characters as white, because now you've made the problem even worse. Because he was willing to throw a black character and an Asian character in there and learn, But you told him he can't write those characters now.
So you're going to get all white, and then you're going to complain about you got an all white cast.
Yeah, or all black, or all Asian. I mean, it could go all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't like though, and I've told my son about this, and I've seen it. I don't like when they go back recently now, and they go back like in the past, and it's like 1950s, and they'll show like integration in the 40s and 50s, and everyone's getting along. I'm like, no, that's not how it was. Let's do it right.
Not until the 80s and 90s did it start becoming really where, people were colorblind for a minute.
Josh said, just like get yourself an American pen name, a Native American pen name. We don't need another Marvel editor debacle. Will be doing. Yeah. Just ask Akira Yoshida about pen names.
But see, that's what I said. So you get one of your friends who is a Native American to sign on as a creative consultant, and then screw them. What can they say? Hey, I got a Native American as a creative consultant. I'm not appropriating anything. I'm asking. I'm being educated so I can educate you.
I remember it might become a thing where, you know what, though? Again, this is essentially having your carpool, and I'll leave it here. But there was a time when J-Lo put out, I think it was a song called I'm Real with Ja Rule. And in the video or the song, she says, this is J-Lo, I tell them N-words, mind their business because they don't know me. And it's like, what did she just say? Did she just tell them I do what I want? Yeah. And she dropped the N-bomb. This is Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, and Josh just made a really good point.
She ran to the media and said, I didn't say that. Ja Rule wrote it for me. He wrote that part for me.
Okay.
And Ja Rule's black, so he could. And the next question was, well, who the fuck does he think he is to give out permission? But so that'll become a thing once you start getting your script supervisor, script consultants. Who the fuck they think they are?
This is going to be hard because it's going to be a niche comic.
Yeah. I think it's going to be tough one grab on those.
It's going to be hard. I mean, you come out on our shows and we'll pitch the hell out of it. We'll help promote it for you. But you're pretty much selling that book to Native Americans and history enthusiasts.
Yeah, and you've already spent the money on it. You might as well put it out.
Yep.
You spent the money on it. He hasn't gone to crowdfunding because he put his money where his mouth is. That he made the book first. So now he needs to go put it out. And
sell it. Yeah, I mean, just like start promoting it. Come on our show, come on Barry's show, come on my show. Go,
I suggest
Sugar Chris,
going to Indiegogo and doing a flexible goal. If you're gonna try to make that amount of money, at least have it flexible so you make something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's a point where, like you said,
in demand, you already have the books, so you just go in demand and keep selling them.
You're $15K in the hole. Realistically, depending on how your following is, it may take you 2-3 years to get that money back.
It may. And this is what I'm saying. It's like, the first thing you're going to have to do is go out and sell that book.
Yeah.
You're going to have to promote the hell out of it. You're going to have to go on everybody's show. I mean, you're going to have to go on everybody's show. You're going to have to drop links in groups that let you do that daily. Until people are sick of seeing you and they just buy it, so you'll shut up. Yeah,
15K is like top 1% end of an unknown creator getting money. Yeah, like you see it sometimes, but I mean, well, Pixel, sometimes it's funnier when we see it because we know, like, you'll see it like on Indiegogo, on Kickstarter, like these first time creators dropping $45,000 on a project, and you're like, what? Let me get my book out here. What the fuck is going on? And then you know what's going on. But then you see it on Indiegogo too. You're like, holy shit, But I want to ask a question too. I know I said I was going to stop asking questions, but and Travis had mentioned Backer Kit earlier. There are so many things out here that are supposed to help creators, make it easier for you. Fulfillment companies. We got again, backer kit doing stuff for you. You got your printer now fulfilling stuff for you. Listen, guys, there's always been somebody, no matter what business is created, somebody who steps in to be a middleman and says, hey, how can I eat off some of that money? If you're not careful, you might find yourself even deeper in the hole,
Right?
on profit, trying to get all these people together, get in there, get into the dirt, move around and see what the hell managing a campaign is like. Do it before you start passing off of the backer kit and others, because you want to see what it is you're paying for. And that way you can know if a company's doing a good job or not.
Now,
As
I
long as
am going to disagree with Pixel on that. It's like these guys see campaigns from established people making 50,000, and they do not think that is the norm. Okay, because all they got to do is look at either Kickstarter or Indiegogo and just start looking at them, and there ain't too many doing that. Brian, Ethan, Brian, there ain't too many people putting up those kind of numbers, so it's not near the norm.
what's Zach doing today? I don't
know. Come on, it's way down here where we're at. Those are the exceptions, the people with an established fan base, which is why we always talk about establishing a fan base. Get out in the chats of all these shows. Make sure all these fans of all these people know who you are when you launch your book. You see what I'm saying? Become known. Be in the chat. Eventually, they get to know you. They invite you on their shows. You become one of the crowd. People know who you are. Then you launch your book, and you have a little more success. These first-timers launching a book without really building a fan base first, that's a model for failure.
Yeah, I could understand that. Travis says, backer kit isn't for first-time creators. You really need a backlog to make it work. The 500K trends to be former pros. They earned it a long time ago. Exactly. But like these companies that are like, oh, okay, we can help you. Like you said, backer kit is expensive. Because I'm guessing they take some of your, funds. We'll do this for you. It'll cost X amount of dollars. If you're getting all these different services, you might find your profit is going to go from, maybe you were scheduled to make $2,000 profit on the whole thing, but now you're looking at maybe making $900 profit on the whole thing because you got backer kit and you got, promises you paid for art still out there. And, there's just all kinds of stuff. I spoke to someone who told me that a guy had offered to do a special cover for them, and they got the art and they thought it was below standard.
Okay. And
they were like, oh well, you know what, I'm not gonna make this a cover because it's not gonna sell as a cover. It's I'll make it a print, a stretch goal print. This artist, this guy did not like it, got mad, got really upset, demanded free copies of the book or to be paid because he did a cover, not a print, and demanded, money. And so you got to be careful who you're doing business with when you're making these books and these stretch goals and campaigns. Be very careful. Price stuff like Michael Oden said. He priced stuff for what it was then. And now he's ready to ship his book, and those aren't the prices currently.
Prices of everything is going up, yo.
Yeah.
Plan ahead.
Yeah. So make sure that you have that in mind and that know that this shit's going to be a little more expensive. I would rather you overcharge me $2 and I get my book on time than.
And in good condition.
Yeah.
See, that's what we care about as fans. That's what we care about, getting the book in good condition and getting it in a timely manner. That's what we care about.
Can you pronounce the name? Stanny? He says, hi, Indy. And he sends you heart eyes or star eyes.
Hello. How are you?
Pixel has joined us, but Sin Killer says, give goodies to your backers. Travis says, backer kits takes 10% you normally make that back and then some. They can also collect money after the fact. That's a huge feature. However, if you don't have an extra backlog to sell, then it's super hard to make backer kit work. You just need to make stuff kind of exclusive to make it backer work. Yeah, I guess I could see how that works. I can understand that. And 10% isn't that bad.
No, yeah.
I look at
terrible.
it like this: when it becomes too much work for, okay, like if I'm a creator, like, okay, Lola, when you have so many backers that it becomes too much work to fulfill, or you're overseas and you want to sell in a different country, that's when you use a fulfillment company. Not when you have 50 backers. You can pack 50 books. You see what I'm saying? It's when it becomes more than you can handle. That's when you ask somebody for help, like Critical Blast or Backer Kid or whatever. That's when you do that. Don't add an expense to your campaign just because you don't want to do the work. Put in the work. When your campaign
you got
is so
friends
big,
and family that could help
do it
you.
yourself, that's when you pay that guy to do it. And then he's actually getting a value for the work he's doing.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Pixel? I'm sorry. I think you popped in.
No,
and I didn't.
No, it's okay. I was just popping in. I was actually agreeing with Pops. I kind of was a little hyperbolic in what I said as far as the 500K. I'm looking at a lot of these guys that come to me, look through IndieCron and stuff too. I've had people hit me up regularly and say, hey, I'm going to try to launch this campaign. I've never heard of them before. And they're like, I'm hoping that just like this person, I've spent 10K on my book. I've spent 15K on my book, and I want to be able to make that back. I'm looking at campaigns peaking at like 5 to 8, 10 from people that just, I may have heard their name in passing, but I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about their art team. The art looks okay. The story sounds good, but I don't, it doesn't connect with me because I don't know the person. So yeah, exactly what Pops has said.
I think we lost him.
We lost him. But yeah,
no.
what I said, y'all.
I have the wonders of the internet. Always messing with me. I was listening to Pixel. If anyone knows, it's Pixel. He definitely knows because he's been doing it for so long and following these campaigns. I think your internet dropped out on this, Pixel. We couldn't hear you.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just basically resonating what Pop said. And you have to build a reputation. You have to get out there and do the work. And even on the fulfillment side of things, if you don't put in the work to figure out what it takes to put something out, you don't know how much money somebody's taken away from you.
Sure.
And if you know how much it's going to cost to buy all the supplies and do all that stuff, you have a very good idea moving forward with your next campaign whether or not you really need that extra help.
Like for example, I'll give a perfectly good example. We have Anita Meredith over at Raging. Now they do campaign management. Obviously, there's a fee for some of those services they help you with. But I got to tell you, if you're hiring them because you're too lazy to do it yourself, you're not going to have a good time because Nita will be the first to tell you, hey, we need stuff from you. You need to be there with information so that we can constantly be giving up the new information. We can't promote you unless you give us something to promote. So don't go to these people. You got to
put in the work.
Yeah. So if you're doing it because you're lazy, not going to work for you. You're going to end up real sad. But it is a lot of work putting out these books. That indie book that you're holding in your hand, I guarantee you probably took no less than 4 months, if not longer, to get to you. So you're seeing someone's year in your hand. Try to understand that these books are going to be late because of shipping, and right now it's holiday, so you got shipping concern, you got paper shortages, you got ink shortages, and now you got fulfillment companies. And I will say this, Pops, if you get another package like that with no bag and board, because I think shipping comics and bag and board has pretty much become standard.
Now it might have been in the bag, but like I said, it was loose.
Yeah.
In here, it wasn't taped to the sides or anything, so it was just there was no backing board, and it was loose, and that was, I hate to say that, it's like, but twice, and I'm like, now if you have this company, selling your book or fulfilling your book or whatever you want to call it, you need to have faith in the fact that they're protecting your product. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know Critical Blast sends a solid package because I've received many of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So their fulfillment to me is rock solid. Indie Planet, not so freaking much.
Well, the problem is they just spell indie right.
Look, if you're gonna have somebody fulfilling your book for you, make sure it's somebody that's actually getting their product out to your fans.
I'm just busting their chops, Rich over there. The thing is, they know how I feel about INDY. That's a state,
right?
That's not
it's a race.
Yeah, it's a place.
Race, man.
Yeah. It's a race. It's it's not independent comics, but whatever. No, I do like their service though. I think I've used it twice. I know that some books have been sent to me from them for Liberty, and they came to me, in good shape. The other thing I want to tell everybody is this too. Remember this about printers, because I discovered this in August and I was floored. They have what they consider an acceptable amount of damages. Now, to you, the creator, the publisher, the producer of the work, you have one too. It's called 0%. But the company that's printing your books, they don't give a damn about that. And trust me, it's in your contract somewhere that you sign with them that, books are going to come damaged. And as long as it's this percent of books that are damaged, you're good. We're not replacing them. We're not reprinting them. You're just going to have to deal. And I was pissed because I opened the box and I think I opened 7 different boxes, and the first 8 copies on each box were damaged. Out of these 8 boxes because they were at the bottom. So what happens is that the weight from the top is crushing the boxes on the bottom. Well, that's acceptable in printing. So keep that in mind. There's an acceptable amount, but we also are printing a lot of books too. So I don't even feel that loss right now because there's so many of them that, okay, well, so, if I lost 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or even 8, 10, until you start losing boxes, you don't so much matter. It doesn't so much matter, but
it does suck when you end up with damage on numbered products.
Oh yeah, if
you have a numbered 1 through 50 signed, and you lose a couple of those.
Yeah.
Don't ever put all of your specialty stuff in circulation. Keep a couple behind just in case. Okay? Just keep a couple behind just in case. If you do a real small print run and you're numbering them, don't put them all in circulation right away, because if one of them's damaged, you can't replace it. You see what I'm saying? Keep a few of them to the side so that in case you have to replace one, you can. If you do a short print run of 50, put 45 in circulation. Keep 5 of them for you just in case you have to replace them.
There's some smaller ones.
Oh, now there it is.
Maybe when you have those print runs, those number ones, maybe what you could do is take those to an in-demand company. If they have to be, maybe if there's only 50 of them, take those to on demand. Don't take those. Don't send those to the big printer. Josh says cough and such. And so we did that earlier. We did that the Gemini promo.
And they were sending the Geminis. They just weren't secure inside them. That was what the issue. The book wasn't secure inside the Gemini. It was just
Right.
flopping around in there, and it was like, "Hey man, these guys are not taking care of your book." I told the people that, and yeah, they, now it's up to them how they deal with it. But I let them know, this is how I got your product.
Yeah.
No
No
film it
magazine,
matters,
news
yo.
media,
No
mail,
matter who's
film.
handling it for you.
Mhm. Miss Lola, it is
Mhm.
time to get out of here.
It is.
But we'll start with Pops. Pops, where can you be found at?
Madness Comic on Twitter, Comic Talk with Pops Van Zant on YouTube, and the Comic Related Madness on Facebook. This show, I want to say something about CromCon this month because it's going to be kind of different.
Mhm.
I'm not opening anything I get until Christmas Day. Christmas Day is Saturday, which would usually be the first day of CromCon. So we won't be doing anything on Saturday other than opening presents like everybody else. And anybody that wants to take this challenge with me and not open anything you get this month that come out on Christmas Day in the afternoon and open them up like a bunch of little kids, you're welcome to join me. Okay. The next day, Sunday the 26th, we're going to do a 10-minute elevator pitch con. Okay. I don't want to be taking up everybody's time during the holidays. So give me 10 minutes, come out, pitch your book, tell everybody who you are. We'll do just a one-day run through, like an all-day Samedi show.
Very cool.
That's CromCon 20, y'all. Open presents and elevator pitch.
I'm waiting for CromCon 21. She'll be legal.
Dude,
She'll be
CromCon.
legal at that point.
I will be, geez. That would be January. I'll be 2 months shy of doing this 2 years. April will be our third year or our, anniversary going into our third year. So I've been having a blast, y'all. And every time I'm down, I just give Variant, God damn it. These people won't leave me alone, Variant. Speed bumps, man. Speed bumps.
Yeah, I wake up in the morning, I turn on Facebook, I said, ooh, drama. I read it, and I say, but does it have to be? And
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Lola, where can you be found at, man?
I am everywhere but nowhere at the same time. But I'm a very hard person to find, apparently. I was told that yesterday? Or no, Tuesday. I was told that. So guys, if you want to find me, go to Linktree, Indie_Princess, and you will find all of my social media links there.
And she is everywhere, like everywhere.
And of course, you can find me online, KYD_V on Twitter, which I don't answer enough. Very ingrained on pretty much every social media network. Check out IndieVolt.com, our website. Download IndieVolt TV on Roku and Roku-enabled devices. And check out IndieVolt TV, or IndieVolt Radio, as well on our on Google Play. If you have an iPhone, you're going to download the Streamer or TuneIn app to access it. And also ask Alexa to play it for you, too. She'll be more than happy to play IndieVolt Radio for you.
Back Indie Comics.
That's right.
Especially ours.
That's right. There you go. Yeah, back all the books, all of them. Yeah, then IndieVolt Live at IndieVolt.com if you want to send us a question in so we can read it, make fun of you. And the question, no, we won't make fun of you. But we'll talk about the question. You can do so. IndieVolt Live at IndieVolt.com is the email to use. Make sure you include IndieVolt Live in the subject field. And please keep emails to 90 words or less.
And I think that was the first time I was ever mentioned by name in one of your emails.
Yeah. Liberty Independent Distribution Group, LEDG.US, the premier distribution company for independent comics. 0% do we take from you creators. We take nothing from creators when their books are sold. Creators set their own wholesale pricing. Also, we offer free pickup from Comic Wellspring. So if you are printing the Comic Wellspring and you want to get your book distributed to Liberty, let them know and they will arrange for the books to be picked up. They've even given me another little
and that's it, picked up, not shipped to.
No, yeah. They've also
just run right over there and pick them up. See?
Yeah, they're also giving me giving IndieVolt, I should say, not me, but giving IndieVolt a something else in 2022. We're able to do for people who are printing their books. They're gonna be able to have it. There's gonna be another code you can use. The IndieVolt is gonna allow you to be able to not this one, but that's the Gemini code. The Gemini code is, of course, Volt 10 VOLT10.
Not Voltio.
Huh?
Not
Voltio, yeah. Voltio is the code. VOLT10. But now Commonwealth Spray, they're going to give us a different type of code. We're going to allow people to save even more money, and it'll be a stackable coupon. So you'll be able to stack your discounts, and that's going to be awesome for a lot of creators. So probably looking at about 10% off, and you can already get is it 10 to 15% off, Lola?
If you do if you're doing a crowdfunder at the beginning of the crowdfunder when you launch, at the bottom of the wherever, it doesn't matter, but somewhere on your page needs to be the little image that they will give you if you contact them, and they will give you 15% off of your order when your crowd paying funds and is done. Contact them and they will give you 15% off. Funds and is done. Pops.
What the heck happened? Damn it, Facebook, leave me alone.
So yeah, so hopefully the codes will stack. I believe that's the idea. The codes are going to stack, and you'll be able to save some more money when you're printing your comics. And that's it for us here. I'm going to take us out of here.
You're not.
But first, before you do that, well, wait, one second. That's in comments that I guess it. See, Travis says that I heard that my success is because of an elite backer group that I had to make sure I fund every time. Just find one of these made up groups and you will be set. So, is that what you have, sir? Do you have an elite backer group? Is it a secret? Do they all wear Dakota rings? I'm just gonna go with your Barry Gibbs son. That's it. It's on a Barry Gibbs. That's it. That's how you make no magazine print. Yes. I've read all those. Okay, yeah. Later, peeps in stateside this winter, working hard. So see you later, Josh. Have a good day. And Voltio, one day I'll be a title for real. I will be. Voltio. Take care, everyone, and be safe, says it. Daphne, any last words? We got the clip of that. Yeah, we do have a clip of that, but she doesn't say keep buying Indie Complex CR. She says stay off Marvel's dick.
Hi.
Daphne, do we have something we want to add to this?
Yeah.
Stop sucking that dick. Let it go.
There it is. There it is. Classic Daphne.
Y'all, look.
All right, sir, ma'am. Take us out of here. We'll see everybody. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you back here soon.
Bye,
Check
guys.
out Pictures Crazy Saturday at 2:30 p.m.
Thanks for watching.
Dinner time.